Hey guys, what's going on? Watomarmelon here, back again for the April 2nd Market Watch. If you guys do enjoy, make sure to drop a like. Check out the links in the description below, specifically clicking that eBay link. If you just click it and then make any purchase on eBay within 24 hours of clicking it, I get a cut, and it costs nothing extra to you. So I appreciate everyone who does that. But getting right into it, we're going to start off with a big card. This is one that I've been watching quite a bit. And there was a sale on April 1st for $239 for a Near Mint Unlimited. To me, it's just surprising that this set that was kind of short printed and didn't really get a huge unlimited wave. The major chase card is about $245 out of it for, a major chase card, and it's one that is not that expensive relative to some of the modern chases. And this card seems to be a little bit more difficult to get than a lot of the modern chases, especially in decent condition. And so it's surprising to me to see sales at around 240 for such a card, but I guess, you never know where it will end up. And Near Mint First Edition, obviously, I just recommend you pick that up on eBay or somewhere else. Next up, we have the tin version. This is actually one that I've been looking at for one of my binders. It's a cool looking card. I wouldn't say it's the best artwork, and I don't think most people prefer it. Looking at just the trend of this card over the last 3 months, you can see that it has really, really fallen in price. Well, I guess the absolute scale isn't that large. It's dropped from about $41 to about $35. If we look at 6 months, you can see that it actually was increasing, and then it sort of has fallen back down. Regardless, if we look at lightly played copies, you can find lightly played for around 18. And then near mint copies are going to run you have some lower feedback sellers at the low to mid 30s, but if you want a verified seller, it's going to cost you around $40. Interesting card. This one's one that is hard to sort of price for me because it's from the 2005 tins, which there are a ton of copies of these 2005 tins out there. Obviously not sealed copies, but there are tons of these things out there. Getting ones in great condition can be a little bit challenging, but it's still a bit surprising to me how expensive some of the cards can be out of such a tin. Although I guess people love Dark Magician Girl, so at the end of the day, I think it comes down to personal preference. How much do you like the artwork? It is a nice secret rare, so it is what it is. Next up, we have Raigeki. This is one that's seen a pretty steady increase over the last 2 months. If you're looking at a near mint copy, it's going to run you. There's some German and Spanish copies for a bit cheaper, but near mint unlimited English is going to run you $140. So this is a pretty interesting card. It doesn't have a ton of other copies to compete with. Obviously, there's the LOB first edition printing, but in terms of kind of the higher rarity printings, this one, it doesn't have a collector rare. It doesn't have a ghost rare in the TCG. It doesn't have a starlight rare. So this ultimate rare really stands above the rest, and it makes a clear cut top rarity printing if you're not going after the near mint first edition. So I do like this card quite a bit. And if you get a Europrint copy, the foiling does look pretty awesome. Next up, we have Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning out of Invasion of Chaos. Awesome card. If we look at near mint copies, remember there are a ton of reprints. And actually, Invasion of Chaos is one of the sets. This is something I should talk about that's getting reprinted in the 25th anniversary collection, or whatever they're calling it. If you guys haven't seen the most recent pictures at one of the YCSs, I think the one in LA, they've been showing off some of the new products that are going to be coming out. So we got sort of the first HD, and in-person look at some of the new 20 or quarter century secret rares. And also, they're going to be reprinting these Invasion of Chaos packs as a part of both the sort of, I don't know what they're calling the Legendary Collection this time, but they're printing it for that, and they're also printing booster boxes of Invasion of Chaos. So it'll be interesting to see whether they designate 25th anniversary cards. Early indications suggest that they're not going to designate it in any way. It might be the case that they put a watermark of some kind on all the cards. I don't know, but I'd be surprised if they did that. It's going to be interesting. It seems to be that the set code is going to be the same. There's not going to be a 25 as some people insinuated. But, I imagine that these sorts of near mint unlimiteds, some of these might be original print, but I'm assuming most of them are reprint cards. These are only going to further go down, I would imagine. And then if we look at the first editions have gone down a ton as well. They're starting to approach the $200 mark, which is a bit crazy to me. I recently picked up a first edition Chaos Emperor Dragon. And so if we look here, actually, let's see. That sale right there was me at $200, but you can see that they're now around 240. I just thought that 200 was kind of crazy. The card came in. It was actually in pretty good shape, so I was happy with the purchase. Next up, we have another Legacy. I don't know why I'm saying Legacy. Well, I guess because it's from Legacy of Darkness, but Yatagarasu is one that came off the ban list, got a lot of hype, but, obviously the price, it got really, really pumped in the beginning. If we just look at unlimited prices, it actually has been steadily rising. Although you can see that it got taken off the ban list and then just sort of collapsed from the extraordinary highs that it did reach. Then if we look at first edition, it also has just been really, really coming down kind of steadily for a while now. If we look at near mint copies, you can get a near mint unlimited for $40, and first edition is going to run you actually only $100. That to me seems like a bit of a steal. Again, some of these vintage cards have really, really come down in price, and it's a bit surprising to see where some of them are ending up. So that's one to look at. And then we have the Starlight Rare. And so you see that there's an original print first edition secret rare for $100. And then we look at the Starlight Rare. They're selling for $140, $150. You can get them for a little, adding shipping in, it's going to cost you around $142.50. So to me, it's surprising that the Starlight Rare is really outpacing the original print secret rare. That to me seems a bit crazy, but, who knows? Let me know what you guys think if you have an opinion on that. Next up, we have Effect Veiler Ultimate Rare original print out of Duelist Revolution. Pretty iconic card. If we look at near mints, you can get unlims for $164. First edition, crazy price. $500 for near mint first editions. I mean, to me, it was crazy how high the Starlight Rare got, but relative to the Ultimate Rare. And this, to me, shows that over time, people start realizing that original print high rarity cards do matter. And the Starlight Rares, they really get expensive for a while, but then people realize, why am I paying so much for a Starlight Rare when there's this original print first edition card in this high rarity that I should probably value a bit more. And so it's really closed the gap where the Ultimate Rare has reached $500. We can see that the Starlight Rare has come down a bit. Although I guess, in all fairness, the Starlight Rare is still $775. So we'll see where that one ends up. It actually has been very steadily rising. To me, that's pretty incredible how expensive these Starlight Rares have gotten. I guess it speaks to how difficult it is to pull them. I'm still not sold on the Starlight Rare how much value these cards hold. I don't see it sticking forever when you look at cards like Chaos Emperor Dragon, Blackluster Soldier, Yatagarasu, even the Dark Magician Girl on limbs. They just can't hold anywhere close to these prices, and they've been out for 20 years, some of them. So, I don't know where it will end up. Next up, we have Max C, one of the most speculated on cards. You can see that people are really starting to pick them up. There was an OCG ban list. I don't know when the next TCG ban list is slated. Near mints are going for $54. Near mint first editions around $125. This card, I think it's actually a pretty ugly card, but this is a true collector's nightmare if you're trying to collect this thing, because people are always speculating on it for ban lists. So if it ever comes off the ban list, I think people are going to crazy. I actually think it's going to lose some value. It's going to spike, and then it's actually going to lose value because so much of the value in this card just comes from rampant speculation. So I don't know where it will end up. No sales on Max C recently, but you can see that Max C still commands an enormous price point. lightly playeds are around $510. Near mints are $550. So it has come down quite a bit. I think people are catching on that. Why would this come off the ban list? It probably won't. And so it really has lost a lot of value. Wing Karibo out of the Advent Calendar 2019. This is one that was at a pretty high price point, but has really, really fallen out. Near mint first editions at $3.25. Not too expensive at all. It's a nice winking Wing Karibo version. Then we have the Ultimate Rare Wing Karibo out of Lost Millennium. It's first printing. Near mints are going to run you, let me take away photos. Near mint first edition, $270. Ultimate rares are just, to get a specific ultimate rare, specifically a hobby ultimate rare, is so difficult that they seem to have held their value quite well as the sort of collecting scene has changed around them. Here's Wing Karibo level 10. If we look at Unlims, there's some lightly played for 120, but for first editions, near mint first edition is $480, so still quite inexpensive card. Rainbow Dark Dragon out of Phantom Darkness. This is a card that I personally love. Near mint copies are closing in on $50 if you want a verified seller, and then first edition is around $150, $160. Really awesome card. I love how it looks, but this is one that I think holds a lot of value just because Phantom Darkness secret rares are very difficult to get. There are basically no booster boxes of this around anymore. You know, this is an insanely expensive booster box. And it's a pretty, if you guys have seen the GX series to the end, this is a pretty important card in the series. And it's one of my favorite cards out of the later GX era. So it's one to keep your eyes on. Jinzo out of Pharaoh Serpent. This is the original print Jinzo. Again, there was the reprint from Legendary Collection. There have been a billion reprints of this card. $38, $36. Most of these are probably reprint copies. But if you're looking at first edition, wow, $425. That's surprising. I mean, to me, it's crazy that Effect Veil or Starlight Rare is like $775. And there's literally Jinzo, first edition secret rare, going for $425. That to me is absurd how cheap that is relative to the modern Starlight Rares. And if anything, I don't know where prices end up on some of those cards. I just don't know how they sustain it. And then we have BPT Jinzo, which has seen an increase in recent months. This is kind of the discount Pharaoh Serpent version, although all the copies of this, are going to be vintage. Tons of unverified sellers with not great feedback lined up at around $26, and then you get up to $75 for a verified seller. Kind of looks like there was a buyout here, so let's take a look. View sales. Doesn't look like any specific buyout, but a lot of them have sold recently, so maybe this is an organic demand. I don't know why the demand's coming up all of a sudden, but interesting. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This card got the Megatin printing in Prismatic Secret Rare and then 2 common printings and just collapsed. I don't know if we'll be able to see it. Yeah, you can see that it's had a bumpy road over the past year and it has lost most of its value. But it's still an interesting play if you're a collector. This is a card that I think long-term is going to be one of the more interesting cards to have. Near mint on limbs at $38, and then if we throw on the first edition, you can get them for around $68, approaching $70. And finally, we'll look at a Ghost Rare out of Legendary Duelists, Duels from the Deep. I actually want to see what the sealed product goes for on this thing. $29, one of the worst products in modern Yu-Gi-Oh history. The chase card besides the Ghost Rare was Forbidden Droplet, and they ended up reprinting this not too long after this was released, and so this set just ended up sucking. I don't know what they were thinking with this set. You can see its price has really fallen out, even from the pretty low $20, $25 price point that it was. About a $20 card right now. I think it's a cool looking card, but it has that first edition ultimate rare printing, and I don't think it's iconic enough for most people to go after. But let me know what you guys think. A ton of vintage cards in this one. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. As always, it's been your boy Watomarmelon, and peace out.